If you're new to Madden, you're probably making the game way harder than it needs to be. There's a handful of mistakes that almost every new player makes, from the way you call plays to how you set up your defense, and sometimes it's even just adding 1 or 2 extra button clicks that can save you a world of headaches. And once you know those basics, Madden becomes a completely different game. So I'm going to show you exactly what I wish somebody would have told me when I first started playing. Starting with one of the biggest mistakes that most new players make, and this is passing 101. But what is the mistake here? Well, for one, a lot of times people do this. They kind of drift back, they run around, and they want to just throw it up deep every play, and that's just not gonna work. Sure, going deep is fun and making big plays are fun, and sometimes they're there, but if you're just trying to do that every play, you're not gonna be successful. And the other thing is, when you hold the ball long and you wait for the big play, well, you get hit, you take sacks, and that also can just ruin your drive. So the major things you want to know about passing 101 is get the ball out quick. You should always be looking to check the ball down. Now, that doesn't mean that you're never going to have a big play. That doesn't mean that your check down is going to always be open. However, as you see here, I'm consistently getting the ball out quick when I see that I have an open receiver. Because simply moving the ball 4 to 6 yards a play is enough to continue your drive and move down the field. And also notice my pocket presence. I'm not drifting back, I'm standing up. Okay, I took a sack right there. That's still gonna happen sometimes, but if you're gonna take a sack, you would rather lose a couple yards rather than lose 10. And you can see when you climb the pocket, you also have the opportunity to run with your QB. If you constantly drift back, which is a habit that most new players have, not only are you not gonna have a chance to take off and run the ball, but you can see right there I threw it out of bounds because the ball takes longer to get where it needs to go. It makes every pass tougher, whereas when I climb the pocket and I just hit my open receiver, I'm having no issues here. I am moving the ball every single time I do this. Now, granted, there could be a defense that does clamp down on this. So right here, I'll set the zone defense to be a little more aggressive underneath. So what you'll notice here is the short routes aren't going to be immediately open, but that's when I look downfield for a deeper route. I'm only looking deep once my short routes are not there. But if you give me the short route every time, I'm taking it every time. I'm getting the ball out quick. I'm preventing myself from taking a sack, and I'm always trying to stand firm in the pocket, navigate, and that gives me a chance to take off for easy yards and also avoid sacks. And to go along with this, you can always keep a check down on your play by simply putting somebody on a drag. So this play, for example, our running back is on a short route, but maybe I want a second one. So I can press the Y or triangle button. I can select a tight end, for example, and then I can go down on the right stick for a drag. Let's go to a different play here. Maybe I want to put my slot receiver on a drag. I press Y or triangle, select his icon, again, down on the right stick. Now he's on a drag. It's good to keep a drag on most plays. They do a good job at beating man, they get underneath zones, and it always provides you a good check down. Now, passing the ball is one part of offense, but you need to know how to run the ball as well. And if you're a beginner especially, you're going to want to lean on the run a little bit more heavily because it is easier to run than pass. Now, the biggest key to running the ball is you want to just use the left stick. A lot of people mash down the turbo or acceleration button behind the line of scrimmage, and that is not what you want to do. That's going to cause you to lose yards. When you hold down right trigger behind the line of scrimmage, it causes easy disengages and block sheds. It'll make it feel like your blocking is horrible when in actuality you just shouldn't be holding down the sprint button that quick. What you want to do is just maneuver with the left stick. Try to hit the open hole, try to get sticky, and what you'll notice is when you're not holding down the sprint button, you actually have more control over your running back. Now, when do you actually want to hold it down? Well, when you get into the open field and you have a breakaway. But otherwise, you just want to keep your thumb on the left stick because it allows you to cut back just like that. If you see an open lane, you can take it, you can cut back, and you're not able to do that if you're mashing the sprint button. Now, for example, right here is where I would hold it when I see a lot of open grass and I'm trying to beat the defender to the outside. Now, to get you started, you need to know about the best runs. So if you're in a single back or an I form, basically completely under center, what you want to look for are stretch runs. So here in single back bunch tight end, for example, we have a play stretch alert bubble, which isn't RPO, but the run portion of this is really good. Or here in the single back deuce close, we have a halfback stretch there as well. Here in the I form formations, if we open this up, we can see we have a halfback stretch here. We have another I form formation with another stretch. Stretches are going to be your best under center runs. It allows you to break it to the outside, but also cut back just like this. Now, when we go to pistol formations, a lot of playbooks have pistol formations now. What you want to look for are halfback zones, like you can see here on the left, or a halfback dive. Dives and halfback zones out of pistol give you a lot of control. It allows you to hit multiple different lanes up the middle. They're not the biggest home run hitters like a stretch, but they're consistent 4 to 5 yard gains. And then if you're in any type of shotgun formation, what you want to look for are inside zone runs, and almost every formation is going to have an inside zone. These are going to be your best shotgun runs, and it's similar to what we just went over with the dives. They're going to be consistent 4 to 5 yards. Now all of that's good, but moving on to number 3, in order for this to work, you need to define your play style. And you're going to need to pick teams that complement the way you want to play. So if you want to be a heavy passer, you might want to look at a team like the Bengals. They have a top quarterback. They've still got a solid running back as well with some good speed that helps you in the pass game. And they've got 2 good receivers. The same for the Cowboys. They have a good quarterback. They've got a good running back. But they also got 2 really good top 2 receivers. And their 3rd receiver has 79 speed, which is always nice to have for those checkdowns or those gadget plays. Now, what if you're more of a heavy runner? Well, you'd want to look at a team like the Eagles, for example. Sure, you can pass with them. They've got a good quarterback and some solid receivers, but Saquon Barkley is one of the best and fastest running backs in the game. But not only that, when you look at their O-line, you definitely want your O-line to be a strength when you are a running team. And the Eagles, we know, run in real life, and they've got a pretty good O-line in the game. Maybe you're somebody that likes to win on defense and make it hard for your opponent to score. Well, then you'd look at the Texans, right? They've got a really good defensive line. They can get after the quarterback. But then you look at their secondary, they've got one of the best secondaries in the game. They've got good speed and they've got good coverage skills. Now, if you really want to take your Madden game to the next level and learn from the best, I've partnered with Civil.gg. If you're tired of losing to random nonsense online, losing franchise games, or even just games against your friends, this is the place you need to be. In the last 2 years, 96% of members say they've won way more games simply by joining. And inside, you'll get the exact schemes, full offensive and defensive guides that the best players run. Use code ERIC for 30% off. Link is in the description and in the pinned comment below. Now that brings us directly into number 4, which is understanding your personnel. So what we're going to do here is this is more about looking at the individual ratings. Sure, we know that these cornerbacks are good, but let's scroll over and let's actually look at what they really excel at. So if we go here, we can see that these top 3 cornerbacks are really good at everything. They're good in man and they're good in zone. Now, if you look, you would say that their strength is more zone. So if you're going to play with the Texans, you might want to run zone defense a little bit more than man defense because they're a little bit better there, but they're still also really good in man coverage, and you need to know this because you might look at a team. Now when we look at the Colts, we notice that their top 2 corners are good at both man and zone, but when we get to the 3rd, we can see that he is significantly better at zone than man. So that's something you want to take into account. You're going to want to run more zone defense with them because it's going to maximize your personnel. Another area of understanding your personnel that's important is your receivers. You don't want to just look at their overall and their speed because man defense has gotten a lot better in Madden in recent games, and speed alone is not going to win like it could in the past. You need to look at things like route running. So if we scroll over, we can see we have a short route run, a medium route run, and a deep route run. This is going to matter a lot, especially if you're going up against man defense, which a lot of people use nowadays. And we can see here that Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, they have strong route running in both short, medium, and deep. So if you're running up against people that are playing non-stop man coverage, well, maybe you want to pull out a team like the Rams so that gives you an advantage in the route running department. They can create more separation. Hey, really quickly, if you're still here at this point of the video and you haven't subscribed, you might as well go ahead, subscribe, join the family. That way you're always up to date with the best Madden tips all year long. It really helps support the channel a ton, and you can always unsub at any time. Now, number 5 is going to be one of the most important things you're going to learn in this video. Until we get to the end, I'm going to show you how to scheme everything up. But we need to learn about defense 101. Now, as a beginner, how should you be playing defense this year? Well, what I really like is 2-man under to start with because man defense has gotten a lot better in these Madden games. And I want you just to notice how smothered everything's going to be. And then look, the pass rush is also good. Look how quick the pass rush got in. Now, yes, we are using the Texans, but like I said, if you want to be a defensive player, this is a good team to go with. Notice how nothing is open. Literally, nothing's open. Everybody's smothered. They're getting jammed. And then the pressure gets to you quick. So as a beginner, where you want to start is in a nickel defensive set because it's just the most balanced. You can kind of defend the run and the pass pretty equally out of it. Now, whatever playbook you're in, you're going to have a bunch of different nickel sets. A good base is always going to be something like nickel over. It's just plain Jane vanilla nickel. And what you're going to want to look for is 2-man under or cover 2-man. All the way on the right here, it's cover 2-man. Sometimes it'll say 2-man under. And the simple way that you want to run man defense is you want to hold down the left trigger or the L2 button, hold that down and then press down on the left stick, and notice it'll kind of press the defense. It'll just get them up in the receiver's face, and we don't really have to worry about getting beat over the top because we have 2 safeties over the top. Now, your responsibility in this is you got to control the guy that's on the running back. If the running back goes out, you have to take him. That's your man. If the running back stays in the block, then you can just sit over the middle and be a free roamer to help defend any in-breaking routes, which are usually the type of routes that can beat man defense. So, all right, the running back's going out. I got to get out here with him. And notice nothing is really wide open here. I'm running out with the running back there, so if they throw that, I could come down, make a hit, make a tackle. Now, This inside guy here, number 9, he's got a little bit of a step, but what you got to realize here is that man's still underneath him. So if the pass isn't perfect, that could still get picked off or swatted. And again, the pass rush is pretty quick this year. So as you notice, didn't even have a lot of time to make the throw. Everybody else was blanketed. Also, the thing you have to realize is that even though number 9 got a step right there, that's not always going to happen. But overall, 2-man under is going to be one of the safer defenses you can run because as you can see, they stick to the receivers pretty good. Now to mix it up, the next thing you want to look at is a Tampa 2. This is a cover 2 style defense, and this is really something you run when you just want to kind of make them dink and dunk you. You want them to take a couple of yards. So I do suggest using one of these yellow curl zones, not the mid read. You want to just use one of these on the left or the right. And basically, you just want to stay around your area. But what you'll notice is you're going to keep everything in front, and all they're going to be able to do is kind of dink and dunk underneath. A lot of people aren't patient enough to do that. But this is a good way to just kind of keep things in front of you, make them have to dink or dunk, and if they don't, they're going to get sacked. And your last defense is going to be cover 3 sky. Now, this is another one that we're going to talk more about in the next tip, but this is another good one to just kind of, prevent deep routes, try to keep things in front of you, make them have to check it down, go make hits, try to get interceptions. One thing that can be good against this is throwing to a quick flat and picking up a few yards just like that. Or just trying to hit something quick underneath like this for a few yards, which is fine. That's what we want. We don't want them to get the big yards. But now that brings us to tip number 6, which is aggressive and conservative coverage. So if you notice that they are taking their checkdowns, like we talked about in the first tip, they're taking their checkdowns, their quick dump downs. Well, what you want to do in your cover 3 defense, don't do this in cover 2 as much, but in cover 3, what you want to do is hold down the left trigger or L2 button, and then you want to go down on the D-pad. You can see here on this right box, in the bottom left of the screen, we have zone strategy. We have conservative, ultra conservative, aggressive, and ultra aggressive. I really like the aggressive and ultra aggressive adjustment for people that do like to throw short. So if I go into cover 3 and I select aggressive, I want you to notice now what's going to happen here. I want you to watch just how you see how they're clamped down all over this. And I mean, he did catch it for a yard there, but there was just nowhere for him to go. I'm going to send the running back into the flat. If you remember a few plays ago, we got a few yards in the flat. Watch this. He is all over that. He hits him. He drops the ball. So when you go aggressive and ultra aggressive, it's really going to make him bite down more. Even your deep zones will be a little bit more proactive. Like you see how this guy's all over that corner route. That's because we put him in that aggressive adjustment. So cover 3 with aggressive or ultra aggressive is a really good thing to switch up to if you're trying to take away those short routes that people are throwing. Now, playing coverage is great, but sometimes you got to send the heat. You got to really try to rattle them, and you got to make big plays like this. So for number 7, let's talk about blitzing. Now, if we go into nickel, we can see every playbook should have some form of a double mug. You could see this is 3-3 DBL mug. That means double mug. They've got mid blitz in here. If you've played Madden at all, you know about mid blitz, but you don't necessarily have to call mid blitz itself. We can go into the nickel over, which we were in before, and we can look at a play like the Overstorm Brave. Basically, you want to play with 6 people rushing. Now, double mug mid blitz is going to be the best way to run this because they're all lined up on the line, and this is just really hard to stop if you're not going to block somebody. Now, you want to mix in blitzes here or there because you don't want your opponent to get too comfortable. Yes, if you're playing the cover 2 man, cover 2, cover 3, and your pass rush is really getting after them like ours has been, and you see that we're playing good coverage, you don't have to really mess with what's working. But occasionally, mixing in a blitz is good because if you have a numbers advantage, you could see you instantly sack the QB, and this could be huge on 3rd down. Maybe it's for the game, and you're really just trying to heat them up, make them have to make the right call, and if they don't, boom, the game's over. It's good to mix these in from time to time to keep them on their heels. What's important is when you're running this cover 0 blitz, there is a possibility of giving up a big play. That is the risk reward of blitzing, and that's why I say don't do this all game unless you're going up against someone that has no idea how to stop it. You want to take the guy that's on the running back, just like with any man defense. That's your responsibility. I see him go out, I have to go out here, otherwise he's going to be wide open. So for instance, let's say we weren't using, right? Because sometimes when you run a cover 0, this safety that's on the running back, sometimes he can be lined up over here, something like that, which is bad. And then this is what you run into. If somebody is decent and sees this quick, look how big of a gain this is. I mean, this could even be a touchdown in some cases. So you have to make sure that you are going to user him. Now, let's say they block him, and I'm going to teach you how to do this in a little bit because it's important. Well, if they block him and you see that, well, now you stay over the middle. Now you're a free rusher, and look, you're still going to get to the quarterback quickly because you still have 6 people rushing, even though they now have 6 people blocking, so they have the right amount of players to block. With 6 people rushing, somebody's going to shed. Someone's going to come free. Like, look how quick they're coming free. It's still going to be good. Now, we've talked about it a couple times in this video, but now we need to have its own section. So for number 8, let's talk about usering on defense. It's one of the biggest things you can do as a beginner to get better. Sure, you're going to mess up a little bit at first, but that's the only way to improve. Because look, if you're just on the defensive line, for example, there's nothing that's going to prevent me from just throwing this drag every play, getting 5 to 10 yards. I could throw this every single time. Now, sure, we could use the aggressive coverage adjustment to take this away, which we talked about earlier. That is a thing. Maybe it's a situation where you don't want everything selling out underneath because you have to protect deeper. But they keep hitting you with that drag over and over. Well, you want a user on any given zone play. You want to use one of these yellow zones. It could be a hook curl typically. And the thing is, if you mess up, you're not going to give up a massive play. Whereas if you're using this deep safety and you kind of run down and get aggressive, well, that means someone could throw a touchdown over your head. So you never want to use the deep zones because there's too much risk involved. If you use one of these guys and you mess up, you might give up 10 to 15 yards, but not a touchdown. So now I want you to notice, if I know they're throwing a drag every play, I can just sit on it and it's covered now. And that's really literally all you have to do. And at that case, a lot of people panic. They hold the ball and take a sack, or they actually throw it at you. You can go for a pick or knock the ball loose. So basically what you want to do is pick the guy you're going to use, and you just want to make sure to stay in your area. So you know if they're running a drag route going to the left side of the field over and over, well then get on the left guy, stand your ground, cover him, take him away. Now let's say I'm using this guy on the right. Well, I can run with this drag for a little bit, but I need to back off at some point because I don't want to completely negate my area of the field either. And of course, if it's man defense, again, you have to take the running back. That's your responsibility. That's the easiest person to guard. And if he blocks, then you become a free roamer and you can do whatever. Number 9 is going to be one of the most important things in this entire video, and that's accident prevention. Well, what does that mean? Well, let's say that we're taking off with our quarterback. We don't want to do this for multiple reasons. Number 1, the QB fumbles more than any other position. So you don't want to be going crazy, juking, taking hits with your QB. We're not fumbling here for whatever reason, but if you've played Madden at all, you know that the quarterback is very, very prone to fumbling, and also he could get injured if you're like in a franchise league or something. If you're playing with wear and tear, that's something that could really hurt him as well. So the first step of accident prevention is making sure to slide with your quarterback. You want to get down. This one thing right here could help win you games, because if you lose the ball on a fumble, that is a massive disadvantage. Now to do this on Xbox, you tap the X button. To do this on PlayStation, you tap the square button. But it's important to make sure that you don't hold any other buttons when you do this. Let go of turbo, let go of every other button, and just tap X or square. And when I say tap, I mean tap, because if you hold it, well then he's going to dive out and do this, and that could also cause a fumble. Now another thing you could do if you're rolling out like this is you can also just go out of bounds. You don't have to slide if you have out of bounds near you. And this also works for any player on the team. Let's say that you don't want to risk a fumble. You can tap X or square and go down and give yourself up. Now the next part of accident prevention is going to deal with blocking blitzes, which we just went over, right? Mid blitz. If we don't block anybody, we have no time to pass. It's just not going to happen. And what happens is people run up on these type of blitzes and they think they're cheesy or the other person's cheating or they're just playing scummy. But the reality is if they're bringing 6 and you're only blocking 5, there's somebody unaccounted for. So blocking your running back is going to be crucial for helping you win games. Now to do this, you pull up your hot routes, which is the Y or triangle button. You select your running back. In my case, he's Y. And then you press the right trigger or the R2 button. Now my running back is in the block. Now we still know we have to get the ball out quick. They're going to still create pressure because someone's going to shake loose, but it allows us time, as you can see, to deliver a pass now. And the next thing about accident prevention is we're going back to scrambling now, because you might face Lamar Jackson, you might face those fast QBs, and what do people want to do? Well, of course, they want to roll out every play. Why not? It's easy. Lamar Jackson's fast. And I mean, we've all seen this. Look how annoying this is. You don't want to play this every play. It's very easy to put an end to this. There's a couple things we can do. Number 1, we can simply press the RB or R1 button, and then right after that, press the LB or L1 button. Now you'll see it puts contains on the field. Now, contains don't always work. I mean, they can dumb out, but for the most part, if we try to roll out now, look what happens. We can't get outside the pocket. Another thing you can do now is pull up custom adjustments with LB or L1, and there's some general custom adjustments preset in the game. And you can see the A button here for me is play QB scramble. You'll have this already in the game, which is going to put a contain on the field, and it's going to also put a linebacker into a QB spy. So now you are really honing in on the scrambling QB. So if you're dealing with that, Either put contains or play QB scramble. Make them have to pass the ball instead of just running around. Now we're here at number 10. Let's tie this together, and I'm going to show you exactly what you can do on offense to start winning right now. I showed you kind of how to play defense earlier. Now let's show how to play offense. Look at that. Touchdown on the first play. Now I'm in the Saints playbook here, which I think is the best playbook in the game, and we're going to look at the trips tight end flex formation. Now this is in a lot of other playbooks, but I think the Saints just is a really good beginner and advanced playbook. We're going to look at the play motion wide post. Now this play is taken from the Saints offense on civil.gg, which I am affiliated with. If you want to learn how to really take your game to the next level, civil.gg has the best offenses and defenses, but I'm going to give you some of the sauce for free. So we're going to look at this play here. The only adjustment we want to make is we want to put the B receiver on a slant. So we pull up our hot routes with Y or triangle, select his icon, and then we're going to go right on the right stick for slant. Now, if we were on the opposite side of the field, if the formation was flipped, we'd be going left on the right stick because he'd be on the opposite side of the field. But it'll always tell you in your hot route wheel what the slant is. So we're going to put the slant here. And this is such a great concept because it's good against man. It's good against zone. You always want to look for the running back first. If you have them, you want to take them. Take your easy yards. Again, checkdowns. We're taking the checkdowns. So we look at the running back first, and then we look to the B receiver. So if the running back's not there, all right, now I've got the B receiver right there. Boom, easy yards. Then after those two routes, if they were not open, we can look to the Y or the A. One of them are likely going to be open as well, and this is just such a great concept. Then we're going to pull up our audibles with the X or square button, and we can see that in our preset audibles, we have an RPO zone alert Omaha, which is going to be the Y button for me. This is a run and RPO mixed in. Now, what I like to do on this RPO, it's good as it is. You can throw the bubble screen to B, but I like to hot route him, Y or triangle, select his icon, and then I'm going to press the right trigger or R2 button to put him on a flat, because the flat is just a little bit better than the bubble screen. You can still run the bubble screen for sure, but this is just going to be really good because you can throw it underneath. Usually you get good blocking, and it's a very quick hitting play. But if you think the run looks good, you can just let him hand it off, go up the middle, try to pick up a few easy yards to keep him honest. But these two plays alone will have you beating a lot of people that you go up against. It's just really good. It's a good 1-2 punch. As you can see, we're picking up easy yards. And then the last play I want to look at is I pull up my audibles again with X or square. We can go to verticals, which is going to be LB for me. If you're on PlayStation, it'll be L1. This is another good concept. And what I like to do here is pull up my hot routes once again, select my running back, and then I want to put him on a Texas route, which is up on the D-pad. So what we've created here is we've got two check down quick hitting options. We've got the tight end running a drag, and then the running back fills in behind him nicely with a Texas route. Then on the left, we have 3 vertical routes, which typically will do a good job at beating different zone coverages. So let's see what we have here. All right, we've got the tight end. We're going to take him easy 5, 6, 7 yards. We'll take that right there. But what I like about this concept is even if we don't take the underneath, okay, against a cover 3, we've got the seam, which is going to be nice and open. This is just a nice solid play that we can use to dink and dunk or attack deeper if they clamp down on the shorter routes. Now that you know about all the beginner tips, you need to know about the best settings to use, because if you have the wrong settings, then none of this even matters. And you can check out that video right here on the screen.